Hey there, my name is Icy, and today I'm going to be talking about a game that's been getting a lot of attention recently because of its big update, and that is DeathGarden, or is now called DeathGarden Blood Harvest, made by Behavior. Now I say big update because recently they revamped their entire game, giving it a good defib shock, trying to get it back to life, and in my opinion, I think they're taking the game through a nice rehabilitation and bringing it back into the light. For those who didn't know, DeathGarden originally came out back in August in 2018. The game was in early access and it had a lot of different problems and difficulties. For me and for some others, the game didn't fully give you a rundown on how it works. Now don't get me wrong, I played a lot during the launch and I did all the tutorials, but it still wasn't very clear. Like, by that I mean the objective, how to survive, the weird sacrifice thing being way too similar to Dead by Daylight. It just needed a good amount of tweaking. In October 2018, the devs released a dev diary talking about realigning the game, making the hunters and scavengers more personal rather than giving them just a blank slate to identify as you, but more so actual characters with backstories, goals, and personalities. They changed the objective of the game, how the sacrifice worked, how a lot of the other things worked, until finally, just recently, on May 30th, 2019, they dropped a major update and renamed it as DeathGarden Blood Harvest, along with a free weekend on Steam for players who want to try it out. All the new players who bought the game got an additional copy of the game to give to a friend. If you were a previous owner of the game, there was an update called the Early Adopters Compensation, which offered 3 things and 4 if you had the deluxe version of the game. With the compensation plan, you were offered 2 legacy cosmetics, one for the Scavenger Inked, and one for the Hunter Inquisitor. The second thing was progress transfer. Based on the level you achieved previously, players got Iron, which is an in-game currency we'll talk about later, for them to use on launch. Any cosmetics they also earned during the time was transferred to the new specific characters. Early owners of the game also got 2 free copies of the game so that they could play with their friends, which we're all still waiting for. Behavior, please. And for those who own the deluxe version, you originally got an art book and a soundtrack of the game, but now the art book has been upgraded to the new lore book, giving you more lore of the game, the world, and more art, and the soundtrack is the same. But they added 9 new tracks, so I guess that's neat. Now that you know the short history, what exactly is DeathGarden? Well, DeathGarden is an asymmetrical multiplayer game where 5 scavengers are pinned against 1 hunter in, you guessed it, the Death Garden. Hunters need to find and gun down all 5 scavengers and get them out of the garden. You use your tools and perks to your advantage to overpower the scavengers, in-game drones to help find them, and your keen senses. Easy, right? Well, for scavengers, you have 3 ways that you can escape the garden. Around the map there are these blood dispensers. You can get a total of 5 vials from them, and every time that you drain them, they need to be recharged. As a scavenger, you and your team must collectively acquire 125 vials. You can collect 10 at a time and deliver them to one of 3 obelisks that are around the map, points A, B, and C. Number 2. After the scavengers enter the garden and collect their essentials, the hunters enter shortly after. Once the hunter enters the garden, an 8-minute timer will start. If you aren't able to get all the blood vials before the time runs out, the exit gates spawn and you can still get out. The third and final way for a scavenger to get out, if all other scavengers die and you're the only one left, the exit gates will spawn. There is one other thing to mention about the endgame for the survivor side though. When the exit gates spawn, Blood Mode is activated. During Blood Mode, 2 exit gates will spawn in a random spot on the map. It'll take a hot minute before they actually materialize, so you have to survive while it starts getting ready. Sounds easy, right? Right? See, in Blood Mode, the hunter is able to see the entire map, meaning they can see you wherever you are, and it doesn't really matter about hiding anymore. Hiding in a bush won't do anything, so you need to bob and weave and haul ass to the gate before you get your asshole blown out. Now that you know the basic objective, let's run over the hub world. The main lobby is called the Locker Room. Here you can run around, goof off, search your games, upgrade your abilities, change your characters, and change your loadout. You can use the currency you get in-game to buy new characters and upgrade your abilities. Let's take a look at the scavenger side. For scavengers, there's currently 5 of them to choose from. Each of them have 2 different abilities, 6 choosable perks, and 2 unique perks to the character. I'm not going to go over all the perks since they're all different to each character, so instead I'm going to give you the base special abilities that are available for all of them. There are 5 abilities scavengers can use. 2 of them are specific to each scavenger. The first ability is Heal. This allows you to shoot an arrow at yourself or a teammate to heal for a certain amount of HP. The second ability is Shield, which allows you to shoot an arrow at yourself or a teammate and give them about 15 seconds of an active shield. The third ability is Smokescreen, which is pretty self-explanatory. You shoot somewhere and it sets out a smoke screen so that it blocks the visibility for a certain amount of time. The fourth ability is Clone, where you shoot on the floor or anywhere that you want to shoot, and it'll send a clone of yourself off to run in different directions. This allows you to fake out the hunter and try to let you escape. The last ability, Active Camo. This allows you to shoot a bolt at yourself or a teammate to shroud them in the shadows for a certain amount of time. As a survivor, you can carry up to 20 regular arrows and 3 special ones. Yellow boxes here give you 10 bolts and gets you a maximum of 20 bolts. Regular bolts allow you to highlight boxes and objectives, shoot down drones, destroy turrets, mines, and allows you to pinpoint the hunter. Highlighting things helps you and your teammates because you can know where everything is, as well as it gives you experience each time. It may only be 5 experience, but over the course of the game, you'll be highlighting a lot of things, and it'll give you a good amount of experience. So shoot whenever you can. The blue boxes are power cores, which are special bolts that let you shoot your bow with your special power. Each box gives you 3 bolts, and that's the highest quantity that you can hold. This allows you to use your healing, shielding, smoke, clone, or camo. These red boxes here are for healing. If you've escaped the hunter and you're looking pretty bad, find one of these boxes to get yourself back up. If you happen to escape the hunter and you can crawl over to one of these boxes, you're able to pick yourself off the floor without having to rely on a teammate to get you up. Lastly is the golden crate. Getting this box gives you and your teammates unlimited ammo for both your regular and your special bolts for a certain amount of time. As a hunter, you will be brought from a third-person view to a first-person view. Hunters have 2 guns and 2 shared abilities to help them capture scavengers. Supercharge allows you to sprint at very high speeds around the map and let you jump for very far distances. This is a great way to get around the map, however it does use up your stamina, so be mindful of that. The second ability is Shock, which allows you to create a shockwave around you and it stops scavengers' actions as well as it damages them. Those are the shared abilities, however each hunter has a unique ability as well. The Inquisitor can place down 2 anti-personnel turrets, which search for survivors and shoot them down, even if they're hiding in tall grass. However, they can be destroyed, so you have to place down new ones once they do. The Poacher is able to place down 10 proximity mines as he pleases. These are very nice for putting near your objectives to add as an extra barrier for scavengers. The Stalker is able to go invisible for about 9 seconds, allowing him to sneak up on scavengers and get them when they least expect it. Hunters are also able to use a yellow box to refill their ammo, which in return makes it unavailable for the scavenger to use it until it respawns. Hunters can also deny health boxes and hack crates, meaning the scavengers will go over to the crate and collect them, and they'll become revealed for a certain amount of time. Hunters are also able to get the golden crate, which, just like the scavengers, gives them unlimited ammo. Now that you got a general rundown of the game, here's a couple tips and tricks to help you play. Turrets for the Inquisitor have better vision than you do, so be sure to put them in a spot that's not too obvious where the scavenger can destroy it from afar, but not too constricted so its only vision is a narrow hallway. Turrets can see survivors in bushes and smoke when you can't. Proximity mines can be irritating for scavengers. Since scavengers move at such high speeds, they're usually booking it around the map, and you're not able to see the radius of the mines until you're right next to it. Please be sure to always be reloaded because, yeah. If you see someone getting chased and you're nearby, do what you can to help them out. Give them camo, a shield, a clone. If you can, heal them with your healing bolts. If your teammate happens to go down while you have a healing bolt, if you shoot them with that bolt, they will be revived and you don't need to go over to them manually to pick them up. Boxes and blood dispensers are shared. If you're all at the same crate and a person picks it up, you will all get the ammo inside. This also works for blood vials. If you're all near a dispenser and you start to siphon, you will all get the same amount of vials. Special bolts are a lot more powerful than your normal ones when you're picking out turrets and drones. 1 special bolt will be enough to destroy a healthy drone, while 3 normal bolts is enough to take one down. If your team manages to get the golden crate, get out your special bolts and start going ham on every single thing that you see. In conclusion, I think this game had a really good improvement over its launch. You can get DeathGarden at its normal price for $14.99, as well as get a bundle for it and DBD for an increased price. Speaking of Dead by Daylight, if you were to get this game, you will also get 4 cosmetics total, 2 for each game. For DeathGarden, you get the Trapper's Mask for the Poacher, and you get a Thrill the Hunt logo mask for Fog. For Dead by Daylight, you get the Impact Mask for Meg Thomas, and the Woodsman Mask for the Trapper. I really hope I explained everything well enough and that you enjoyed the video. If you'd like, I highly recommend you give it a try. If you want to team up as a survivor in either DeathGarden or Dead by Daylight, feel free to click the link in the description for my Discord server so we can chat and play some games. I hope you have a good day. Adios, my dude.
Maybe I could say hi. Maybe I'd feel relieved.